Welcome to the world of tomorrow! Kicking out that first video of 2017, it's time for some good old-fashioned TWIT and actually being able to talk about some new robots I got this very week. Wow! Isn't that something special and completely out of the ordinary? Haha! Anyway, everything I've got here is some nice slice of RID stuff because some new bits have popped up and they're all rather nice, and another thing I've got here is the brand new Combiner Force stuff that isn't totally proper combiners at all, but we shall see because there's a picture of something that looks like a Menosaur on the side of a bus in China or somewhere. But anyway, we're going to kick things off with a little bit of a downgrade from usual. It's been a long time since I spoke about any Legion class figures because, you know, since the RID ones came out, they're £7 and it's like, no fam. So I've only really been looking at these on shelves. I don't even bother looking at them at £7. But when I went into Sainsbury's, the night after I did an article on the Old Refined Robot Co. about Legion class figures and my love for their history and a little bit of a sort of documentation of all those 12 years now. We've had tiny little what were £3 pocket bots. Yeah, I guess I kind of brainwashed myself into wanting to go and get some more. You know that thing where you watch someone talk about a figure or write about a figure, or maybe they've done some pictures or something. You look at a review or something like that and you go, oh, actually I kind of feel like I could do with one of those now. I did that to myself writing this article about Legends figures. So I went and got Blizzard Strike Drift because it's blue drift, you know. I was kind of thinking about getting the deluxe blue drift because orange, okay, that's a kind of cool colour, and there's the argument that he was supposed to be orange in the film and they couldn't get an orange Bugatti, so I had to get a blue one, and then he was blue. But it just feels like, stop kind of mixing things up to that extent. Drift in my house, can he either be white or blue and we leave it there? So I've got a blue drift. Little tiny guy, and he's alright, None of these RID Legions are particularly spectacular. I mean, okay, they're good in the ways all like the Prime ones were good, but they're a little bit insubstantial compared to like older ones. Older ones are much more solid. You just feel like you're getting a little bit more. Like, his arms are so flat, aren't they? You know, and a lot of these seem to be sculpted in really stock still positions as well. You know, it's not like years ago you'd get figures that have got, you know, slightly bent arms even though they didn't have any elbows. His arms are completely straight, his legs are completely straight. He has got some knees, but then you get all that going on. Hello, you can see through his knees there. That's not a great thing, but at least they do something, at least they're there. Gives him a little bit of extra stuff going on because apart from that he just kind of stands there. And I'm not a great fan of this drift design, I've got to say. Takes all the samurai stuff and puts it towards an end of just obfuscating it. He looks too bulky. I know samurais look kind of bulky with all that armour, and movie drift looked a bit bulky, but that was cool. That was done in a kind of way that it looked good for a mechanical samurai man. RID drift just looks fat. He just looks, yeah, he's too wide, like everywhere, to the point where it just encumbers his motion, and that is so true of the deluxe figure. So I don't know quite how much I really like this design, but for a little tiny pocket guy like this, he's a good bit of fun. You know, he's made out of vaguely metallic blue plastic, and the car mode looks... I don't like the car mode. It's such a weird shape for a car, isn't it? But it looks alright. It's got some like snow fleck detailing going down the front of it for that whole Blizzard theme, which I don't really care about because I just wanted a blue drift. But yeah, it's a little bit of fun. It's alright, and he has got, as far as I can tell, the tiniest painted eyes. Right in there, right at the top of his head, because the proportions of his face are just wrong. Yeah, there's a lot I can say about this drift design that's very questionable to my eyes. But this little fella is alright for £5. Yeah, £5 though. Still too much. But I didn't just get him, I got a much more interesting guy who actually ends up being a bit stunted and a little bit boring. It's Ground Pounder, as he is in the show, Ground Buster, as he is on the box, or Ground Butter, as it says in his instructions. I'm not lying, that's what it says. What? Butterwatch 2016. Yeah, he's that kind of gorilla-y guy. He doesn't look that gorilla-y like this. I don't know, he's got a big belly, tiny little legs that do move, big long arms that only this one has an elbow. And it's like, okay, this is fully functional, as it should be, because this is the cool kind of scoopy digger arm that looks like he'd do the most damage with. But then this arm over here, it's so long, and it needs a joint here because it just looks awkward all the time. But there's a joint here. Hello, there's a joint here for transformation. Couldn't they have made that his elbow? Couldn't they have done something so that that could be functional in robot mode, not just a random off-center, my arm is broken looking thing? I like the big patch of shiny red on his chest there, and it turns into a cool kind of excavator thing. You know, it's a pretty, I'm going to say unorthodox vehicle mode, but really it's just a blue Constructicon. So he's alright, he's a bit of fun, he's a bit of interest and new design looking things. And he doesn't look too animalistic because, you know, he's a primate. Think up your own Donkey Kong rhyme. Moving on to the meat and potatoes, I saw on Twitter, like, this was like a mere hour before it actually went out to the shops. In Asda's, there's this big display stand of the new RID Combiner Force stuff, and there's a picture on it that shows like all the RID main characters combined of this weird, almost nightmarish gestalt, and it's like, okay. All right, are we going to get a toy of that? That might be interesting. So I thought, ooh, I know my Asda never gets anything in. Like, it took them a solid 5 to 6 months to restock anything last year. But knowing that there's a display stand, and knowing that that's the sort of thing that stores have to put out as part of a promotion, I thought, ooh, there's a good chance they might have some in. Oh no, they went and found the exact things I was looking for. Stormshot. Oh boy. When this thing was revealed, I went a bit nuts because look at it. It's a brand new, properly just good old-timey feeling design. It's a brand new guy. You know, there's never been a guy called Stormshot before. There's never been, well, okay, there's been a few red, white and blue Autobot jets, but not quite like this. Look at his face, man. That head sculpt is so, that's everything I want in a jet Autobot guy. It's just visor and spikes, and it's so like brave and properly like Japanese robo. It's like, yes, that's how you do a good G1-ish kind of head sculpt today. You just take all the coolest stuff and jam it in there, and I love it. Could do it being on a ball joint. That's like one of the only limiting things about this guy, but he just looks good. Look at that chest. This detail in here, he's all squared off and properly proportioned, properly fleshed out. It looks so good. Only real downside, I guess, is the deco a little bit, because the plastic he's made out of, you know, the white is a bit sort of that soapy white that like Wheeljack and Getaway have been made out of recently, and some of the red is a tiny bit weak maybe, and the blue could have been metallic and I would have been sweating, fam. Yeah, it could do with looking just a little bit more polished. It's a little bit basic here and there, but it does the job. He looks bold and bright and new. Just a fresh new guy. How good does it feel to have new characters in RID? Finally. There's a bloke that isn't in the show and it's just a cool toy. I've been waiting for that for so long. I mean, of course it doesn't do any combining, which, you know, is kind of misleading on part of the box, but he can stick his guns together. It's this big bloody good shotgun thing, and he's so nicely posable, and I just love the proportions and everything. Transformation is kind of silly easy, but at the same time it's really clever. The way all this stuff on his back with the wings, the nose cone, Constantine is out and flattens out and folds back up again. It's really not that involved at all, but it's a little bit clever, and he does like the Combiner Wars area bots things with his legs where they collapse. It's alright, it's alright, it's alright. I really like it. The jet mode's very much just a robot lying down. You can't even turn his face around. You can't transform him without having his face completely in view on the underside of it. So maybe that'll put you off if you're some kind of absolutely disgusting pedant, but this is certainly worth your time. And certainly if you can get it cheap. Because this fellow and the fellow I'm about to show you, I got £7 each. They were 12 on the shelf, and even that is a reduction, but because they were so new, they hadn't been put on the system yet. So when the lady on the till asked me how much they were, I said 12, I didn't lie, told her the good honest truth, and she put them through for £7 each for some reason. And I just looked at the amount I got charged and I was like, I'm not going to say anything. Just walk on and look at my receipt again and go, ha ha, get in. Think it might be time to trot out an ultra bargain. Whoa! £7 for this. Mate, I was fully prepared to chuck 15. Fam. So now I move on to a bit of complete weirdery. Like, I shouldn't have bought this, knowing what it's going to be repainted into that's 100% more appropriate. But I've got Blast Wave. It's just bludgeon. It's just bludgeon in green and blue. Look, he's got a skull face. He's an Autobot with a skull face. You're not fooling anyone. It's just bludgeon's face. Didn't do anything to that, you know? On the box art, he looks vaguely more Autobotic because he's got a proper kind of face. He just looks like some sort of hard bloke. But it's bludgeon. But I really like it as a unique new guy. It's like, you know, it just engages the imagination so much to think, okay, what kind of weird story excuse can I think of as to why there's basically an Autobot version of bludgeon? And to me, what hit me straight off with the whole khaki colours was he's like some kind of like Nam vet. He's been fighting in the jungle for ages and maybe he lost his face in a battle, you know. Let's face it, you don't get any Transformers that are disfigured. And they've been fighting in a war for millions of years and none of them have any kind of awful injury that they've sustained they have to live with for the rest of their lives. I think it's pretty fair to give at least one of them that kind of story. So there we go. Maybe he looked at a bomb as it went off and he lost his face and, you know, he has to go around looking like that. And everyone looks at him like, mate, you're not an Autobot, but you've got a skull for a face. And he's like, you weren't there, man! You don't know! Oh, you know, the whole sword thing, which, okay, for bludgeon it would be like a katana, but I'm looking at it more like a machete. So you got some good, like, John Rambo-tron stylings going on here. I love it. It's just, yeah, sparking all this headcanon off in my head, and it's like, that's definitely worth the purchase. And without all that, it's a really good figure. Bludgeon is going to be so good. Like, the arms and everything, it all works so nice. All the joints work so nice. I mean, it's a retool of Megatronus, and he was a really good figure. But he looked really bland, because he's just grey and a bit of purple. This works, this pops, it looks so good. All the sculpting that's new just looks so good. He's got treads, you know, all up in his shoulders here. He's got like painted bits would be treads, but they're not treads because that's the turret. I mean, yeah, the legs, everything like below here that isn't his knee pads is pretty much like the same as Megatronus. It's almost like the same plastic colour, I'm sure it is. But all the new stuff makes it look so cool. Yeah, okay, so his arms and shoulders don't actually make the actual treads, but it looks cool. It takes all those bludgeon design points and puts him in a good new solid deluxe. He's really solid. He's just hench and nicely sized and just feels like a proper actual good deluxe guy that would be worth £15 really. So once again, to get this guy for £7 is like, oh lordy, it's good times, man. So if you like fun, go find some RID figures because there's some good new ones out there now. If you don't, then what were you watching this for? Every now and then, all you need is to stroll into a supermarket and walk out with something silly like this. And it's great. It's good stuff. It's good stuff. I've got to say, you know, these guys feel like the absolute top notch of RID so far. It's taken a long time for me to really feel good about this line, honestly. I mean, back when I did like the Thunderhoof review and all that, and there were new ones coming out like Scorponok and Windblade that I picked up and I liked them, but these feel like, yeah, this is what I've been waiting for. This is proper good stuff. Forget about how they're a bit simpler. Forget about how some of them are missing a bit of paint or there's some egregious kibble. These two at least are really worth your time, honestly. If you haven't picked up anything from RID yet, even though it's been like 2 years, pick these up. You will not be sorry. And maybe if you're a bit sorry about this guy's paint, at least he's a project you can fiddle about, putting some paint on him, making him look a bit better. Or maybe just wait till a Takara one. I've got to say, I'm looking at this like, okay, this guy's clearly going to be bludgeon. What was this guy made for? What are we going to get out of this? What is Takara going to do with this? Are they going to do anything with this? I'm so intrigued and I'm so ready to buy it again because it's a very nice mould, but at the same time, I want to appreciate it as Stormshot, the brand new random guy that I've got no idea who he is, but he looks really cool and he looks like he should have been there from day one. That's just lovely, lovely stuff. So I'm going to call it a day there. Catch you on the flip side, and maybe you'll notice that I want to wrap this up slightly quickly because it's going to take a bit more of editing because I've moved out of the cave of Movie Maker. Let's see what we can do in the future, eh? Up in my game, boy!
Yeah, boy.